focus on this shit when you know outside the world is ending. And the dumbasses over at Fox News are still trying to convince their viewers this is all going to be good. It's all going to work out great. If you can maintain your life for the next 20 to 30 fucking years, that's what it's going to take to build all these fucking manufacturing plants that they think is going to come back.
Control point nearby.
For all the jobs that nobody wants to do. And I guess they're going to try to get rid of solar and shit because they're trying to promote coal plants again. They're trying to get the coal industry going again. And West Virginia and Southern Ohio say that all them people can get black lung and cancer and die, like my uncle did. And every single one of his friends and everybody that he ever knew, they all died of lung cancer, every fucking one of them. Except for the ones that died of colon cancer. That they all died of cancer. All of them. None of them lived to be 80, 90 years old and died of old age. None of them. Not a single one. Out of thousands of people, every single one of them died of cancer. My uncle thought he'd got out, actually. He had retired in, like, his 50s or something. Put his years in, had a full pension. I think he got to be retired for, like, 4 years or something like that. He found out he had cancer, and a few months later he was dead. That was it. It happened so fast. And he was checked all the time and shit, too. Supposedly. But, you know, when you have an industry controlling everything, they control the doctors, they control everything. So you don't know if you're being told the truth ever about anything. Because they they own everything. Everybody's got a price. That's their business, you know. Whatever your business is, you got a price. Because you don't have to say, you know, the opposite of what you believe. All you have to do is just say you're not sure. And there's no way that you can say with any certainty that this is what's causing that. That's all you have to say. Just keep saying that. You just keep throwing sand in the gears until the machine breaks down. Eventually, people will just give up. Because people don't have billions of dollars that they can spend endlessly forever and ever to fight for or against something. People don't have billions of dollars in their bank account like a company does, where they could throw away $30 million and say, keep this tied up for the next 30 years until that motherfucker dies, and then we won't have to worry about it no more. Because our company's been in business since this country started, so. And I know this motherfucker hasn't been alive since our country started. So our business will simply outlast him.
We're in pretty good shape, actually. Thanks, Agent. We should be good for a while.
I just want to get my passport and get the fuck out of here and go live somewhere else where there's sane people living there.
Friendly supply convoy in proximity.
And the tourism industry, because see, it's easy to figure out what's going on because right now there should be all these reservations coming in from countries all over the world of their vacation plans when they plan on coming to America to see our country and all that shit. except our tourism industry has, well, they've lost a little bit of business. They've seen a reduction in tourist requests or reservations or anything like that by 92%. So out of the 100% of people that was supposed to be coming here to enjoy America, only 8% of those people are confirmed to still be coming. And they're probably not going to come either because there's an absolute terror and a fear of anybody coming into this country that they may snatch you off the plane and send you to a fucking prison in some other country and just make you disappear. With no legal standing, no defense, no nothing. And that's like going to Russia or North Korea. Those are the only two countries anybody knows of that does shit like that. And America now. So yeah, there's no way in hell that I would come here on vacation. There's no way that I would go to a country where there's any kind of a chance that me and my family could be locked up for the rest of our lives for doing nothing wrong at all. Nothing. And not even be charged with anything. Now, one girl from Canada, they kept her inside the United States and moved her around all over the fucking place for 12 fucking days straight. Just about destroyed her fucking life. If she had a regular 9 to 5 job, she would have lost everything.
In proximity.
Couldn't call nobody, couldn't talk to nobody, wasn't charged with anything. They just locked her up in a room and told her to shut the fuck up. They would get to her when they got to her. And that was it. That was her interaction. For 12 days. And then finally they let her go and told her to get the fuck out of the country and never come back, which she's not going to. They don't have to worry about that. She's never coming back here again. Because due process has been completely eliminated. 100%. And there's no fucking doubt about it. They've told the Supreme Court, fuck you. But, you know, why not? Before he was even elected president, the Supreme Court told him that he could do anything he wanted. Whether it was legal, illegal, it doesn't matter. If he is in the position of president, there is nothing that he can do that he can get in trouble for. Even if it's illegal, completely illegal, he still can't be prosecuted for it in any way, shape, or form. Either during or after his presidency. That's what the Supreme Court said. They gave him that power. He's using that power that they gave him. What the fuck did they think was going to happen? It happened while Joe Biden was still president. But Joe Biden said he would never use that kind of power against his people like that. That's just crazy that they would even do that, but they did. Knowing that the motherfucker they gave that power to was talking about he wanted to be a dictator on day one. So they gave him the power of a dictator. And now the other judges are trying to figure out how do we maintain the equal power of the judicial when the executive branch refuses to abide by the judicial branch. And the people that do the prosecutorial jobs is controlled by the executive branch. Meaning that all a judge can do is tell a prosecutor to prosecute him. It goes to the Department of Justice and they say, no, we're not going to do that because he's our boss and he said not to. And it doesn't matter what you say or do to any of us. Even if you say, all right, I may not be able to do nothing about Donald Trump, but I can do something about you motherfuckers. I will put you in contempt and I will throw you in jail, which is what's going on right now with the judge. But that doesn't matter. That doesn't mean anything. That guy's not going to go to jail, not for a fucking minute. Do you know why? Because something else the president has the power to do. And that's to pardon people. So he can tell anybody to do anything, go murder. Just walk onto the fucking set of ABC News and kill David Murrow, or whatever that guy's name is. Or Lester Holt on, let's say, NBC News. Just walk live on the air, right up to Lester Holt, pull a gun out, blow his fucking brains out live on the TV, and there's nothing anybody can do about it because as soon as they start to prosecute him, Donald Trump can just say, no, here's a pardon. I pardon you for any and all crimes you've done in the past, present, and future. And that's the end of that.
Relax.
Prosecution's over with because the Department of Justice isn't going to prosecute him anyway because Donald Trump owns the Department of Justice. And even if they try to, even if they get a conviction, it doesn't matter because he can write the pardon. And nobody said he couldn't pardon himself, so he can do that too. Which he doesn't need to because, like I said, the Supreme Court already gave him ultimate power to do whatever the fuck he wants. And as long as he does it while he is the president, it's part of the job. So he cannot get in trouble for it, whether it is legal or illegal or anything. Doesn't matter. So that's the predicament that our Supreme Court put us in. They stripped their own power away from themselves before he was even elected, and then once he got elected, Congress, just like the Supreme Court did, handed all their power to him also. So there is nobody to stop anything from happening anymore. The only thing you can do to save yourself is get the fuck out of this country. Otherwise, it doesn't matter if you're an American or an immigrant or what or who you are. They can send somebody to my house right now, kick my fucking door in and disappear me, and that's the end of that. There's no due process, so I don't get a phone call. I don't get to talk to a lawyer. I don't get read my Miranda rights because I don't have any Miranda rights because I'm not staying in this country because they're shipping me to a country where there are no rights. And even if there were rights in that country, it doesn't matter because I'm not a citizen of that country, so I don't get their rights either. I get nothing. Just like them people in El Salvador right now. But they say they're not going to return them because of this, because of that, because of whatever. They're not going to return them because they're dead already. Because they killed them already. They killed every fucking one of them and murdered them all the day that they fucking arrived. There is nobody to return. What are they going to return? A body bag? They ain't going to be no body bags either because they probably already cremated their ass because it's a waste of space for them. They don't give a fuck about Americans. Their coolest, hippest dictator, coolest, hippest, youngest dictator. He calls himself that. That's not my words, that's his words. Doesn't give a fuck about Americans. He collected $8 million to take 200 Americans off the hands of America and make them go away. That's exactly what he did. Trump paid to have these people imprisoned over there. And then when they asked them, well, this one guy doesn't have a criminal record or nothing, and even your administration said that it was an error, a mistake that he got sent over there. Can we get him sent back home? And the president of the United States and the president of El Salvador both sat there, the leaders of both countries, both the guys who made the deal with each other, the guy who gave the other guy $8 million and the guy who took the $8 million and disappeared 200 and something Americans. Just on that one day because they're still going over there. Shit hasn't stopped. They're still shipping people over there every fucking day. Plane after plane after plane. And people are going to this fucking death camp in El Salvador. But both leaders of both countries both say that they don't have the power or ability to release that guy. So the president of El Salvador says that he can't call his prison and tell them to release somebody. And the president of our country says that he can't ask the guy that was sitting next to him, that they're supposed to be good friends with each other, to please release that guy because he accidentally got sent over there on error. It was just a mistake. Nope. One can't ask the other to do it, and the one who has the power to do it says he doesn't have the power to do it. So, I don't know who the fuck is running El Salvador because apparently the dictator has no power over there to do anything. And the dictator in America says he doesn't even have the power to even ask somebody a question. And I'm sure all his MAGA followers believe all of that too. And we all know because there's videos dropped on YouTube every single day that cops fuck up really bad all the time. And when they do, they try to cover it up. They don't never say, oops, we made a
Friendly control
mistake.
point nearby.
They always try to cover it up, conceal it, and hide it. So there's absolutely going to be a time in the near future when some of these MAGA motherfuckers that worship Trump so much, it's going to be their family. Oh, yes, it will. Because cops fuck up names and descriptions and shit all the fucking time. It's a regular thing. Especially two people having the same name. Like Martin Gonzalez is probably a super fucking common name. So it wouldn't be hard to accidentally snatch up the wrong guy whose ancestors came over here fucking 5 generations ago. But because he has the same name as somebody who came over here 2 weeks ago, he accidentally gets snatched up and sent to an El Salvadorian prison, never to be returned. Except he's gonna be a Mexican like my friend. Not a Mexican, but a person like my friend who doesn't speak their native language. I have a Mexican friend who can't speak Spanish because he was born and raised here in the United States. His parents are from Mexico. They came here 60 years ago or whatever. Got their citizenship, had a bunch of kids, and he doesn't speak Spanish. So if he got sent to Mexico, he got deported back to Mexico, he would be fucked because he can't speak the language at all. So when they're screaming at him to do whatever in prison and beating him in the head over and over again because he won't do it because he doesn't know what they're saying, then so what? And he has a very, 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 very Spanish name. But it's not a super uncommon name either. So it wouldn't be difficult for them to be trying to get my friend and accidentally grabbing a MAGA child instead. Some 30-something, 40-something-year-old MAGA kid. And just disappearing them. And then when their parents are like, we voted for Trump, we don't care who you voted for. And you're probably lying anyway. So you're only saying that you voted for him now because you think it might help you out of your situation. You can't prove who you voted for. I don't think you're allowed to take pictures or video of you filling out your ballot or turning your ballot in or anything like that. Not that I know of. I've never seen anybody try to record inside um, the polling place. I would imagine that that's illegal. It'd be an invasion of privacy. Because they could say that you're trying to videotape someone else across the room. You're trying to record what their vote is so that you can destroy their life later on and tell everybody he didn't vote for who he said he did. He voted for that person instead, and maybe burn their house down and murder their whole family or whatever your crazy plans are. I just want out of here. It's just about waiting now, processing time to get my passport and get the fuck out of this country. Because even if in 2 years, when they can vote enough of the Republicans out to give the Democrats a slim majority and then try to undo all that's been done, we're not even in the first 100 days still. So,
Never thought I'd make
imagine a year and a half or a year and 9 months from now what it's going to be like. The amount of shit that they're going to have to try to undo and try to figure out what all has happened. Trying to put 50 different agencies and all back together again with most of the paperwork destroyed and most of the data destroyed, and Russia and China and North Korea and whoever wants to be hacking into it and destroying it every day while you're trying to fix it. They're just going in and undoing it because they have login credentials, they have backdoor invisible credentials, they have all that. All that shit got set up at the time that Doge was in there. And of course, they put worms and viruses in there that all you have to do is type a code in and they activate and then wipe the entire fucking system. How do you put together a system that's been wiped? How do you get 70 to 80 million names and identities all back in there again? How do you get all that straightened out before you end up with tens of millions of people being homeless, tens of millions of people dying, and all them people watching their parents and loved ones die and expecting them to just sit there and do nothing about it? To not become enraged? And maybe instead of one guy out there with a pistol shooting a fucking CEO and the head of a health company, you got tens of thousands of people out there hunting for millionaires and billionaires. Just anybody that looks like they have any kind of money at all suddenly becomes blamed for this. And it does become rich versus poor. Who do you think wins in that? You think the rich people are going to be able to call the military in and the military is going to come in and murder all the poor people for them? They're going to come and murder their own families? When they find out that while they were serving in Iraq, mom and dad lost everything that they had. Their health insurance got canceled, and the cancer that mom was fighting against to survive has now killed her because of their president that they voted for. How do you think somebody's going to handle that fucking shit? You think they're still going to want to defend their president who calls them suckers and losers on the regular? Think they're going to stand up for him, come back to their country, and murder their own countrymen in his name? Or do you think that maybe it changes from a paperwork coup to a military coup? I just want out of here so that I don't have to give a fuck about it anymore. So I don't have to think about it anymore. So I don't have to watch it on the news anymore. So I don't have to hear and realize how stupid and crazy and just ridiculous half of the countrymen of my country are. I feel like I'm living in a house, and outside my house, there's people walking around my house over and over again, just dumping uh, containers of gasoline all around my house while they're chain smoking cigarette after cigarette after cigarette, and they just keep walking around circles, just dumping gas all around my house, dumping gas all around my house. And they don't care if they catch on fire and burn to death. In fact, that's the plan. As long as when it happens, my house goes up in flames too, and then it completely encircles my house, and they get the satisfaction of knowing that me and my entire family are going to burn to death and die in there. That's what it feels like to me that my countrymen have done to me. That they all went out there and bought gas trucks full of gasoline, and they're just making a big moat of gasoline all around my house, and they're spraying it all over my house too, while they're smoking the shit out of cigarettes. And they don't plan on putting their cigarette out when they're done. They're going to flick it out my house and walk away. And the funny thing is they told me this is exactly what they were going to do. And they were going to do it to every single person's house in the entire country. And half the country said, Yeah, I want a new house. We can do that. I'm not wondering where or how they're going to get a new house when the plan is to burn down all the houses. So there are no houses left. But as long as they hurt the libs first, that's all that matters, because the libs are so evil and terrible, because the libs want the money that we collect in taxes to be used on the services that the American people have set up and established over the last 80 fucking years. And the Republicans just want to shut down every agency that there is, and the money that used to go to those agencies goes into their bank accounts instead, so that they can go on vacation, buy new yachts, and buy clean water for themselves and shit, because you can't drink the water in America no more. Can't breathe the air in America no more. Everybody has to wear them fucking masks and shit like they do in China, because the air is so fucking destroyed, because we had to bring all the filthy, nasty manufacturing back to our country for products that nobody can afford to buy anymore. So it's just a plant that's just going to open and then close again in a year when they don't get any sales. Like what's about to happen to all the businesses in America. All the little businesses are starting to go out right now already. Don't even know if Walmart's going to be able to survive this shit if this crap stays in place.
Detected.
I know the car manufacturers, and there's a whole bunch of industries, a whole lot of computer industries and everything is getting ready to shut down within the next couple of weeks, because all the parts that they need to keep their businesses going are no longer being shipped to America. China shut all that down because we get 100% of that from China, and there is no backup. And even if there was, who would want to help us when we're in the business of just fucking everybody? Who would want to help us? Not me. Who the fuck would want to open a business in this country when you don't know if you're going to have tariffs or not have tariffs, or you're going to be taxed or not be taxed, or you don't know what the fuck's going to happen from day to day? It just depends on what mood the leader wakes up in. What state of mind is he in? So yeah, I don't see anybody investing billions of dollars to come over here and just take a chance at anything at all, when they can't even establish any kind of a solid business plan at all, because America has thrown all business deals and everything out the fucking window and said, we don't honor contracts no more. We don't honor agreements anymore. Well, who the fuck wants to sign an agreement with somebody who doesn't honor agreements? Nobody. Look at Russia. They're collapsing right now, and nobody wants to do business with them because they don't honor anything. Same thing for America now. Well, that's going to do it for me. I'm at the second hour of this video for YouTube, so I'm going to drop this video, and then that's going to do it for me. I got to go to the bathroom really bad, so I'm going to go ahead and bump off here. Sorry about the bitching and whining and complaining, but I feel like I'm living in hell, just like 80% of the rest of the world. We all feel like we're living in hell because we can't figure out what the hell happened. Alright then. Till next time. Bye-bye.